am that I am, God. My trust is in you. Lily of the valley, my trust is in you. Hey.
I'm Reverend GBADE Ogunlana. This is what we call Stephen Syrup. I'm Stephen GBADE Ogunlana. This is the 13-minute summary of our 1-hour teachings, which presently is on understanding faith. This session we are sharing practical experiences that reveal cogent points, important points when it comes to exercising faith. Your faith can produce results. What you will need to know is that to realize that more than you think, your faith is working for you. You know, thinking about Nigeria, Nigerians, and the situation, circumstance around us, I find out that a great deal of us in Nigeria, we exercise tremendous faith. We have to believe God personally for protection. You have to believe God. When you are driving on the road, you automatically believe God. I'm telling you, an average Nigerian has more faith than most people in the world, because we've got to believe God for everything. Some things that comes naturally to other people is a function of faith to us. I guess they are starting or restarting the premiership today. You have to believe God for light. That is how we are. So we kind of believe God for everything. Our faith is strong. You have more faith than you realize. You have more faith than you realize. And our faith is really working for us. You know, it's interesting the angle that WHO turns to the issue of this coronavirus. I'm sure they are not sure. Nobody is sure. Why it doesn't seem to spread as fast in Africa as it's in some other parts of the world? They don't understand it. Nobody understands it. Could it be our faith? Because we have some tremendous faith. We use faith for everything. So averagely, our faith is stronger than most people anywhere else in the world. Anyway, that is, by the way, but it's a true one, really. We have been looking at different aspects of faith from practical angle. Don't follow anybody that is teaching faith that is not following it. You have to have examples. I can sit down here and talk from experience of using my faith till tomorrow morning, and I will still not have finished it. Why? Because I use my faith. I know how it works, and my faith is working for me. Your faith can also work for you. But there are some practical instructions that you and me need to understand when it comes to the subject of faith. And they do help a lot. There are some practical examples, instructions. That is why I'm sharing some ways by which I have exercised faith, to learn some certain important points about it, how it worked for me, and in some cases where I didn't receive the answer, to explain to you. You may be able to see yourself in these things and get results next time. And this is what I want to bring out today. We may take the subject of faith separately from the subject of prayer, and may teach on how to be led by the Spirit of God separately. But I'm telling you, practically every subject in God's Word, one way or the other, are linked to each other. There is a link. We may take them separately, but in a way they are connected somehow. For example, listen to our examples today. Wherever or whenever you move away from where the Spirit of God guides or leads you to, it will render ineffective your faith. Your faith cannot produce effectively in an area where you are not led to. Or let me put it like this. when the Spirit of God is leading you to the west and you go to the east, it will affect the effectiveness of your faith. Your faith will produce maximally only when you are where you ought to be. And I cited an example of when I was working as an assistant pastor. Let's learn cogent lesson from this. Many years ago, that's 1991 thereabout. 1991 is about 29 years ago. I was very young, very small then. So it wasn't a surprise when one of the members of the church looked down on me because I was very tiny, I was very small. Being an assistant pastor in the church, I was the head of the follow-up team. In our team, there was one of the elders' wives there, a member of the team. Now that elder's wife, one day we were supposed to have our group meeting, but I was not disposed to come. I had to attend to something somewhere. She was really angry with me. When she saw me the following day in the church, oh God, she really gave it to me. She was talking to me to the extent that there was one church member, Brother Shegun, that looked at her and said, Madam, he's our pastor, for God's sake. No matter how small he is. I told her, Brother Shegun, I said, leave her alone. Let her enjoy herself. You know, Apostle Paul said something. He said that we are made spectacles to the world. One of the meaning of that is this. We are there for people to chew on. So when you chew on me as a pastor, I just laugh. I just hope I give you something sweet in your mouth. She really lashed me. But unfortunately for her, the following week, we were getting close to that same meeting time. I dare not go home. I dare not miss the meeting. So I told myself, I've got to sit down and attend for this meeting. But unfortunately, 5 minutes before the meeting time, I had a burden to pray in tongues. I had a burden to pray in the spirit. From experience, I knew in my heart, if I yielded to this leading, I may not be able to finish in good time if I should yield. And the question is this: who knows what this thing is all about? But when I peeked out of my office, I saw that the follow-up team had already sat down for their meeting, and the woman was there. I remember a week ago when I didn't attend the meeting, and she lashed me. I said, I better attend now. But here is a burden to pray. I was contemplating, which one do I do? Which one do I do? I eventually made a mistake. I attended the meeting. I shifted the burden. By the time we finished the follow-up meeting, our normal weekly evening meeting started. And that is how the burden became very light till after we finished the meeting. It was so light. On my way home, I now made a final mistake. I said, I claim victory in the name of Jesus. When we treat the subject of faith, you will understand the gravity of the mistake I made there. I used the prayer of faith when I was meant to pray in the spirit, either in supplication or in intercession. That is, I was meant to respond to my heart to pray in the spirit. Then I used the prayer of faith. It won't work there. And it didn't work there. The next morning when I got to the office, my reverend called me and said, Pastor Bade, gather people together to pray. I said, what happened? He said the armed robbers entered into one of the members, church members' house, and they carted away 70,000 worth of property. And in those days, 1991, 70,000 was enough to buy a car. Because about 3 years after, I bought a car for 80,000. So you can understand that it was much that time. Listen to this. I made a mistake in not responding. Unfortunately, it happened to be the house of that same elder. there is something, is it repercussion? I don't know. We just leave that to God. But I will have been able to handle it. But what I want to bring out is this. On my way, after the evening meeting, the body was already light. I now thought I was praying prayer of faith. I said, I claim victory in the name of Jesus. No, that won't work. That's not even scripturally intelligent. You don't pray prayer of faith when you don't know. Faith only begins where knowledge is. I didn't know what was going on. So to say I'm claiming victory, how will I know when the victory comes? When I didn't even know the subject under discussion. So it's not intelligent to pray in faith at that period of time. But I made the mistake. Of course, when we gathered together the next day to pray, we didn't catch the thief again. I knew we will not catch the thief, but I had to pray religiously because I am the pastor and I've been commissioned to gather people together to pray. Listen to this, and this is a practical subject here. When the Spirit of God leads you and you do not obey, your faith won't work effectively. When you are operating where you are not being led to be, it will hinder the effectiveness of your faith. That is one of the things when it comes to choosing professions in life, when it comes to choosing mighty things in life. Make sure you are led. It will help your faith in working. If you are where you are not supposed to be, it will affect the effectiveness of your faith. Have you ever wondered why in Mark chapter 4, when Jesus gave that parable of the seed, some of the seed that entered into good soil, they produce 100-fold, some 60-fold, some 30-fold, and they were all on good ground. That is, the productivity of your faith can differ. What are the reasons why it may be different? It is being where you ought to be at the time you ought to be there. I have seen so many people, I've seen some people, not so many people, I've seen some people that even went out as a missionary when they were not led to go. What happened? Their faith failed to work there. No, be where you're supposed to be, then you see the maximum productivity of your faith. When you are where you ought not to be, listen to this, your faith's effectiveness will be affected. They all work together. When you have a check in your heart not to do some certain things, don't do it, because what God is telling you is this: your faith may not work because you are being led otherwise. Have you ever wondered why the angel will appear to Joseph in a dream and he said, when you wake up in the morning, carry this baby and run? I thought angels would be able to protect, the same way I thought also. But God is saying that in my divine plan, my plan is that you run. Run. That is, if Joseph should stay and say my faith will work, his faith will not work. So they work together, being led by the effectiveness of faith. Maybe the reason why your faith is not producing 100-fold is probably you are not where you ought to be. So make sure that you increase the effectiveness of your faith. If your faith is not working,